LA, brought to you by El Pollo Loco. The Dodgers and the Brewers, as the Dodgers try to even this series up at a game apiece. Deadline day always a fun one, and the Dodgers with a couple more acquisitions. The big one, Brian Dozier, the second baseman over from the Twins, and John Axford, a veteran reliever, comes from Toronto. Welcome inside. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. And the first place team in the West got a little bit better today.
You know what? The anticipation is fantastic with this team. You're starting to look what could happen, and then all of a sudden it does happen. In the days of social media now, players.
I don't think your mic's working. What do you use mine?
Oh my mic's not working. Can you hear me now? I'll tell you what. But I'll tell you, the guy's excited. But you know what? Like the mic was a distraction. It can be a distraction also with the trade deadline. But they're excited down there.
I need it back to tee up on Brian Dozier. Tell us more about him with my microphone.
It's fantastic. This guy has got some power. He's upgraded us in all ways. Between his bat, his defense, he's a Gold Glover last year. 16 home runs, 52 RBIs. That upgrades us at second base in a big way. Hit the lefty on the mound tonight. If his plane would have landed
by El Pollo Loco. Try the new queso-loaded double queso quesadilla, only at El Pollo Loco, fresh from the grill. Ready to roll on a gorgeous night at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and Brewers playing game 2 of this 4-game series, and here's the lineup for the Brewers with Christian Yelich to lead it off, and then Lorenzo Cain. The new acquisition, Mike Moustakas, hits third and plays third. Aguilar, Shaw, and Thames in the middle. Eric Kratz does the catching for Wade Miley, and Orlando Arcia, whose days as a starting shortstop may be numbered with the acquisition of Jonathan Scope today by the Brewers, which we'll dive into as the day goes on. And Walker Buehler makes his first start as a 24-year-old.
He's been chomping at the bit for this start. His warm-ups are through. He is waiting to throw the first pitch, and he is revved up, and he wants to respond to a rough outing from his last one. But ever since he gains more distance from being off that DL, talking to Rick Honeycutt, he thinks he's getting better and better every outing, every side work, getting back in that groove that he had before he injured that rib.
3 games since coming off of the DL with that rib injury, his ERA is above 10. He is strongly in the running for National League Rookie of the Year before that at 263 earned run average first couple months. And he was ready to go at about 7:06 tonight, and so has had to wait around for the home plate umpire Jerry Davis to say play ball. He gets the go-ahead. Yelich stands in. Dodgers and Brewers game 2. Off we go with ball 1 at 97. On the National League Player of the Week, Christian Yelich. Who's helped the Brewers win 4 of 5. They come into the game with more wins than any other team in the league. 62 and 47. Dodgers trying to avoid their first 3-game losing streak since the end of June. It's been a very good month. 16 and 9 in July, and it's coming to a close today.
They look like a very solid championship contending team, and they have been improving over the last couple of weeks, and especially today.
2-2. What an exciting deadline day, not just for the Dodgers, but across baseball. A flurry of moves. That's how you like it on this day. I kind of wondered if it would be like that because there were so many moves early. There's still plenty left in the tank for the final 24 hours, wasn't there?
The Dodgers getting Dozier at second base. Might get here in time for later in the day. We'll just see how the travel goes.
Full count.
Axford in the bullpen will be an outstanding addition of a strong veteran right-handed arm. Of course, Manny Machado, the early addition, which was the crown jewel of the trade season.
Payoff pitch. I'll do it again. Brewers taking the opener last night, 5-2. Teams have split the first 4 games head-to-head this year. Counting tonight, 3 more coming. Next pitch will be the 9th from Buehler to Yelich.
Started out 2-0 with a fastball and a slider that missed, but since then Walker Buehler has been filling the strike zone. Yelich is late on these 96, 97 mile-an-hour fastballs.
And another foul ball. Christian Yelich comes in riding a 14-game hitting streak with a .492 average in that span.
He uses the middle of the field almost better than anyone, and when he pulls it for power. He hits a lot of line drives, gap to gap, and he's very consistent.
Buehler wins the battle on the 10th pitch for the first out of the night.
You got to start early when a guy's throwing 97 right out of the chute, and when you start early and you can throw a breaking ball that looks like a strike, ends up a ball, Buehler wins the battle. He was definitely in swing mode and made him miss that one.
And here's Lorenzo Cain. Strike one. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. For tips and rebates, visit waterwise.com. Or bewaterwise.com, that is. Bouncing ball to Chris Taylor. Dug out by Muncy. 2 up, 2 down. They're in a scoreless first inning. Buehler gets ready to face Mike Moustakas. 2 for 13 in his first 3 games since getting traded from Kansas City. Just misses. 1-0. We mentioned Scope, the acquisition for the Brewers. Kind of interesting how they've pieced it all together. That slash foul, and it's 2-1. So the Moustakas addition moved Travis Shaw to second, where he has never played. Scope is going to play a lot of short, it sounds like. And so you're going to have a second baseman playing short and a third baseman playing second. Beats the shift with a 2-out hit to left.
Brewers leaning towards offense compared to defense. That is definitely for sure. But, you know, you get to a point where you can improve your roster. Maybe it's only on one side of the equation. You still make the move, and you hope they can fill those gaps with their gloves.
Half game back of the Cubs coming into tonight. Game ahead in the win column, couple behind in the loss column. Brewers trying to find the postseason for the first time since 2011 as Jesus Aguilar takes ball 1 from Buehler. National League All-Star. Still trying to get going in the second half. He's 5 for 33 since the break. And on this 1-0, he watches a pitch break to the knees for strike 1. All 3 teams at the top of the West lost yesterday, and so it's still jam-packed. Dodgers, D-backs, Rockies all within a game. Same pitch, same result.
A couple of curveballs that were outstanding. If he can land that pitch, it can be a long night for the opposing team. Going from 97 miles an hour down to 81.
Here's 1-2. Dribbled foul. Even with the slow start to this second half, Aguilar 25 home runs. And an all-star in his first opportunity to be an everyday player. .28 years old out of Venezuela on a 1-2. Swings through a fastball at 98. That's that for the Brewers in the first. Buehler puts up the 0. And Wade Miley gets ready to throw when you come back. Is what the lineup looks like tonight. Chris Taylor will lead it off with the left-hander on the mound. Then Machado and Kemp is back in there. So is Muncy. Kike Hernandez at second. Bellinger in center. Huygen right. And Barnes doing the catching for Buehler. Wade Miley is on the mound for Milwaukee. 31-year-old out of Hammond, Louisiana, who held the Dodgers to one unearned run when he saw him in Milwaukee.
The veteran making his 202nd start, and he has started to change with age. Now throwing a lot more cut fastballs, getting away from the straight fastball, putting a little movement on it. That change has really made him successful this year so far.
Really likes to work quickly. His first pitch of the night misses to Taylor, and it's 1-0. It's the fourth start for Miley since he missed 2 months with an oblique injury. And the number's pretty darn good, with the ERA around 2. Ball and a strike on Taylor. Guy that signed a minor league contract with him this offseason. And over the last 3 years, Oral has the 3rd worst earned run average in baseball. So even though it's only been a handful of starts for the Brewers, they're smiling big about what he's doing. Here's 1-1. Breaks in, strike 2.
Those veterans that have done it, he's been an all-star, but that's been years ago. Understands how to win and to get people out. The body was letting him down. Once you get the health back, though, the memories of how to get people out and using all the tools that you learn with poise and savvy on the mound, these crafty lefties can all of a sudden find it again.
Two and 2 on Taylor.
Well, if that was the cutter at 88, that's a big cutter. That was like a flat slider, or even a flat curveball, as much as he came around that one. It's like he's trying to use that movement to both sides of the plate to Chris Taylor, which means the right-handers that are watching this at bat will be taking notice of that he'll cut it down and under your kneecaps, or he'll cut it away from you.
7 of the 9 that'll hit against him tonight are right-handed. It's a broken bat, soft liner caught by Shaw for the first out of the night. And up comes Manny Machado.
Number 8, Manny Machado.
Bass is gonna blow your mind.
Well, the result of the game wasn't what he was looking for, but 2 walks and his first Dodger Stadium home run in his first game here.
And the fans anticipating another big night from him in his last at bat, that home run. That really woke the crowd up. It wasn't enough to get them back in the game, but it sure made them feel really good about the trade and having him in a Dodger uniform.
Facing his old Baltimore Oriole teammate Wade Miley. Watching a curve dip low. On base percentage in his first 11 games, it ranks among the elite in baseball. And across the board this year, Machado's been one of the top 5 or 10 offensive players in the game. Three and 0.
We see this. If Manny doesn't go outside the strike zone, boy, he gets a lot of balls on the edge, and he takes them, and he'll take his walk.
That's what he does here, just like he did against Miley when he saw him in Milwaukee. Each of the first 2 times up, threw a free pass, and Miley said after the game, look, I know what this guy can do from being his teammate. I ain't giving him anything too good to hit. Well, same thing here, giving the Dodgers their first base runner. And that smile was directed at Wade Miley. 1 on 1 out. Up comes Matt Kemp.
That smile is going to make him a very popular figure here in Los Angeles. He really loves to play baseball, and he shows it.
Kemp goes after the first pitch and grounds it to Moustakas at third. It's an easy double play to finish the Dodgers in the first. Off and rolling. No score after 1. No score to the second inning. Walker Buehler back to the mound. Bookend strikeouts on that first. We talked about it during the pregame show, Oral, but you think this may be one of the 2 or 3 most important pieces for the Dodgers looking ahead?
I do, because he can be electric. He is learning to pitch. His stuff plays big in the big game, so it will only be about location. And I think the poise in this young man, if the Dodgers get to the playoffs, he could be an X factor in the rotation to really help them carry them to different levels.
Delivered strike 1 to Travis Shaw. Now misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Kershaw appears to be back to his ace form. So when you start thinking about a playoff rotation, there's your game 1 starter. There's a sharp breaking ball for strike 2. The way Rich Hill's been pitching lately, you'd feel good about him in a second game. And if Walker Buehler gets back to where he was during the first half, it's a pretty scary game 3 starter. Rolled off of the hands to Taylor, who throws Shaw out.
Manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is now available. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Bases empty, 1 gone, and Eric Thames, who had the key swing last night. 3-run home run against Maeda. And it takes strike 1. Ball and a strike. One and two.
A lot of good signs here early with Walker Buehler responding to a few rough outings. Even in the midst of those rough outings, they've seen improvement. But right here, he is making improvement by leaps and bounds.
Strikes Thames out with a fastball. 3rd one tonight.
They're swinging and missing at strikes. He's landing the curveball, and they're just kind of automatically taking it because it's so different than that electric fastball.
And it's that fastball, Oral. If you really dive into the difference since things haven't gone as well post-injury, fastball's been getting hit around. Before the injury, it was one of the best fastballs in baseball.
He's been missing a little bit with his elevation. He's had a little timing issue with his delivery that they think they've got a handle on now.
Strike 1 on Eric Kratz.
When your timing's a little off and you throw the ball as hard as Walker does, and he throws it hard, it's not an easy hard. He's got a lot of body parts moving fast, so when you're moving that fast, it's hard to feel exactly where it's out of sync. And he and Rick Honeycutt have worked hard with some film work and also in the bullpen, and they really think they've stumbled on the answer.
Roxon deals 1-1 and is on the corner with a fastball for strike 2. You gotta love how accountable he's been. Said after the game in Philadelphia, bottom line, when I'm here, when I'm given the opportunities, I've got to be better. It was after somebody had asked a question about whether or not the way he was handled, shut down, picked back up, the appearance out of the bullpen while he was rehabbing, if that was to blame for the rust, and he said no, I just simply got to be better. Brings another 1-2. Kratz puts it in play gently to third. Machado charging, throwing, getting him. 1-2-3 go the Brewers in the second. No score. brought to you by the Southern California BMW Centers. Hurry in today for the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Bottom 2-0 score. Wade Miley back to the hill, facing Muncy, Hernandez, and Bellinger. Max had an RBI triple last night, but it's just 2 for his last 28. Leading off this second inning by taking ball 1. Breaking ball, 1-1. Boy, he wants to throw it as soon as he gets it back, doesn't he?
Very nice by Max Muncy right there, trying to change the rhythm of Miley.
Curve is in for a strike, and it's 2-2. Miley had the start against the Dodgers to open the second half, and since then held the Giants 2 runs over 5 innings last week. Second start of this road trip. And the second inning begins with a strikeout of Muncy.
You got a home run hitting club like the Dodgers against a guy who hasn't given up a home run this year, and of course he hasn't had many starts, but still he's keeping the ball in the yard. The Dodgers like to hit it out of here.
One out, second inning. Here's Kike Hernandez. And we'll let Andrew Friedman speak to this a little bit more. He's going to join us in the booth at some point tonight. But anytime there's acquisitions, you wonder about the trickle down, what that means for the rest of the lineup. Right-handed hitter like Kike, who gets some of his starts at second. He's one of the guys that comes to mind that you wonder about. The message so far from Dave Roberts is that it's going to kind of be more of the same, where they continue to try and keep everybody relevant. And while Dozier's going to get the bulk of the starts at second, it's not going to be every day.
The Dodgers, a team and a culture now where you come to the ballpark and are not always sure you're going to be in the lineup, but you're okay if you're not.
Hit hard, diving stop, Moustakas, who's done that a couple times in this series.
They call it the hot corner, and we'll take a look at it in the Morongo Casino slow-mo cam. Moustakas slows this down with his eyes, but Kike Hernandez hit a bullet that he ends up gloving and gunning him out with. Frustrating for the hitter, exciting for the pitcher.
Moustakas does rate as one of the better defensive third basemen in baseball. A couple gems in a couple games in this series. With 2 out in the second, here's Bellinger. Taking ball 1. That great defensive play kind of cut off your discussion about second base and the way that the roster is going to work moving forward.
Well, the Dodgers, you know, the culture that the front office and Dave Roberts have done a nice job manufacturing is that everybody on the roster is going to get used. They might not be in the starting lineup that night, but they might get 2 at-bats late in the game. They might come in as a defensive replacement. Dave Roberts understands by the scoreboard who might need some work, if the Dodgers are way up or way down. But if it's a game that's in the balance, they're going to have a very strong bench no matter who they like in the matchup against the starting pitcher. And keeping them all relevant, keep them all focused. Every day they come to the ballpark, they know they have an opportunity to start or an opportunity to play sometime in the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bellinger.
Last night, Jock Peterson got 3 at-bats. Matt Kemp came in for him, got 2 at-bats.
Full count. And in 4 of those 5 at-bats, the Dodgers had a platoon advantage. The left-handed hitting Peterson facing the right-handed starter. And the right-handed hitting Kemp in his first AB is against a left-handed reliever.
Utley and Kike Hernandez toggled like that last night. I think you'll see a lot of combos. This guy at the plate, Cody Bellinger, his ability to play exceptional center field and exceptional first base, and really can play all 3 outfield positions. So you might see an infield combination where all of a sudden Cody has to come in from center and play first later in the game, and you don't lose anything.
Draws the walk, keep the inning alive. Take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. With the acquisition of Brian Dozier over from the Twins, and it's another thing I know we're both curious to ask Andrew Friedman about, but it's somebody that you've heard the Dodgers connected to for years now. They're finally able to pull the trigger on acquiring.
Brian and his wife have heard about Los Angeles for about a year and a half or so, and Dave Roberts kind of relaying the phone call and what they talked about, how excited they are to be coming to LA, and they've been anticipating it for a while.
Justin Turner sounds like not too far off from coming back. Sometime Thursday, Friday, Saturday in that range. Puig with a hard grounder that sneaks under the glove of Arcia. Dodgers have their first hit of the night and back-to-back 2-out base runners.
By the end of the year, the Brewers defense probably will not be graded at a very efficient level. This ball has got to be probably at least caught and kept in the infield and maybe record an out. It'd have been tough with Bellinger's speed going to second and Puig going to first, but that shows a little bit of the possibilities of the holes that they might have in the infield.
Well, the interesting thing is that he's considered one of the top 2 or 3 defensive shortstops in baseball.
He might have a lot on his mind with who's around him, but that left side with Moustakas should be okay.
No question. Austin Barnes with 2 out takes a strike. They lead baseball in defensive efficiency. It's just with the moves that you're seeing right now, with the acquisition of Scope and the acquisition of Moustakas, moving Shaw to a position he's not familiar with.
That is still not a stat that I have a lot of confidence in after Manny Machado's rating of being as low as it was.
Lifted to left center field and came. Well, that's not defensive efficiency. Those were defensive runs saved that you should dislike on Machado. Okay. Right? We got 7 innings to argue it, though. No score after 2. Buehler back to work. with 3 strikeouts over his first 2 innings.
He's been fantastic as far as pounding the strike zone. He fell behind Yelich in the first at bat 2-0, but since then he has filled it up, about 75% strikes total. So the breaking ball he's landing, the curve ball, he's getting some swings and misses in the strike zone, and he looks to be on his game.
Phase 8, 9, and 1 here in the third. It's Arcia to lead it off. And a fastball is by him at 95, strike 1. Pretty much all of Arcia's value has come through his defense. The opener last night, he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Sent to the minors on a couple different occasions this year to try and figure the swing out. And has done some good things on this road trip. That's outside, and it's 2-1. High drive to deep center. Bellinger's back on it. Warning track to catch it for the first out. And just to get back to that discussion we were having towards the end of the second, the Brewers, while they've been really good defensively, sounds like they're leaning towards trying to bolster the offense at what is probably going to come at the expense of the defense, with Arcia getting fewer ABs.
With their starting pitching, that could be an issue because they're not really a lot of strikeout guys in the rotation, but their bullpen, if they can get past the 5th inning, all of a sudden that bullpen is lights out, especially in the winning equations. So maybe helping the starters and maybe getting to the bullpen with a lead will protect some of those defensive flaws that they're probably going to have in range and comfort out there.
So the middle infield may be a bit of an adventure with 2 guys a lot of days playing out of their normal positions. You know they're good in center with Lorenzo Cain. Moustakas has shown he's a pretty darn good defensive third baseman. Miley looks at strike 3, 2 up and 2 down. Brewers fans at this point, the chatter with the deadline having come and gone is, why in the world didn't we get another starting pitcher?
Probably were too expensive. Maybe some prospects they did not want to give up. Such a moving train when you're going through the free agent season, the trade deadline season, and everybody looks at the final outcomes of who got what for what. But as the negotiations are going on and the pressure is mounting of someone's about to make a decision on it, you don't always have all the flexibility and information as you do when it finally comes down.
Ball and a strike on Christian Yelich. Struck out on the 10th pitch. The game opening at bat tonight. On this 1-1, he hits a slider towards the hole. Hernandez stops it and throws, not in time. Once he says, Hernandez had a long way to go. Tremendous effort just to get to the ball.
Ridiculous athleticism from Kike Hernandez. The agility, the speed to get to this, and then be outstretched like that and realize I've got to get my knees and my hips in a certain position to be able to spin around and throw this ball quickly. It'll make the highlight reel even with the safe sign.
Extends Yelich's hitting streak to 15 games. And gets Cain to the plate here in the third.
Those are the kind of hits that'll win you a batting title. Those ones with speed from the left side. Those 5 to 10 of those that by the end of the year could be the difference in a batting title or coming in second.
Enters the day first. Christian Yelich does, actually in a tie with Scooter Gennett, who's an old Brewer. 0-1 on Cain, who hacks it foul, and it's 0-2.
Always good with 2 outs and a possible base runner to give a little check over there. 2 strikes. The risk reward is really in the right equation for the offense to go.
Buehler to Kane, 1-2. Driven towards the gap in right center. It'll peel away from Bellinger and make its way to the wall. Yelich headed home to score on a 2-out double from Lorenzo Cain to open the scoring.
Number 18, Mike Moustakas.
Cain puts a nice swing on a ball that's a little bit more center cut than Walker Buehler and Austin Barnes want. And when this one reaches the gap with Yelich's speed, pretty much with 2 outs and crack of the bat, they're going to score a run.
So the Brewers lead at 1-0. And with 2 out, it's Moustakas. He hits one hard, but it's wide of the bag, and it's strike 1.
This is where if you're Walker Buehler, you just unwind the emotion of giving up that 2-out base hit. Kiki Hernandez almost gets it. Then you give up the ball in the gap, but the emotion of giving up that run, it'll just be a very much a surface flesh wound if you get Moustakas out and get in the dugout. The second one will really hurt.
Ball on a strike. Up the middle, Hernandez knocks it down. Cain's going to head for the plate. Here's the throw. Got him. What a play by Kike Hernandez.
Ridiculous range, ridiculous arm strength, and then the accuracy. Well, we saw the range on Yelich's ball, but he just couldn't get it to first base in time. Now the range on Moustakas' ball. Moustakas will get a base hit, but no RBI because of the outstanding play and throw by Hernandez. Austin Barnes at the tail end does a great job fielding the ball. And you say, well, he's blocking the plate. He can't do that. Well, in the midst of fielding the ball, you can take yourself into the lane of the runner. You just can't go there without the ball.
That was going to be a standout play just by stopping the ball, right? I mean,
yeah.
Let alone getting him at home. Hernandez has done so many times this year, produces a defensive highlight, keeps it 1-0 as Walker Buehler starts the third and takes a strike from Wade Miley.
He really hasn't had an exceptional year playing defense. I mean, much better than we've ever seen. The opportunities because of the bat, he's out there on defense a lot more, and we're getting to see those abilities more often.
1-2, yeah, highlight reel of Kike Hernandez on defense alone. Put together a couple minutes of stuff from this year.
Would rival a Yasiel Puig highlight reel now.
It'd just be a little more versatile. It could even have some pitching on it. Miley wasting no time. Buehler's the first out. In a 1-0 game in the third. Let's see if the Dodgers second time through have any better luck against a guy that they already saw within the last 2 weeks. He's proven to be a nice pickup for Milwaukee. One out, bases empty, and Chris Taylor. Strike one. Miley, a former first-round pick. You mentioned all of his starts he's made against the Dodgers through his career. Made 13 of them. Most of those came when he was with Arizona. And he wasn't just a guy there. He made his major league debut in 2011. Next year was his first full year. He was an all-star as a rookie and the runner-up to Bryce Harper for National League Rookie of the Year that year. Cute fouled, and it's 1-2. He's now in his 8th year. He's turned into a journeyman. 5th different team he's been with. Went from Arizona to Boston to Seattle, Baltimore for 2 years, and then the minor league deal with the Brewers this offseason. He gets Taylor 2 up and 2 down.
He's moving the ball in 2 different directions. He's changing speeds. He's using the movement of the cutter in on righties and away. Throwing just enough change up to keep him off balance. And boy, the movement on the cutter right now is really avoiding the barrel.
Two outs, bases empty, and Machado, who walked his first time, takes ball one. Yet to see a strike from Miley. Pretty similar story to Milwaukee. Two 2-0. Did you have any guys like that you played with and so you knew too intimately that they scared you right out of the zone?
It's a very different confrontation when you're playing against somebody you know well and has been a teammate. I think the hitter has the advantage, the information, and deep down they probably think you're not going to hit them. You're really not going to knock them down. So sometimes you have to redefine the relationship. I can remember.
Chopper to third. Moustakas showing off his arm. And been showing off the defense all series so far. I'm going to let you finish that story when we come back.
Time for Built by Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. After a year like last year, Alex Wood gets a bobblehead night, and that was tonight. And there's his dad, Richard Wood, as Alex was warming up his dad, as his dad was throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. There you can see they're not necessarily as good as his son, but that's okay, because it used to be Mr. Wood warming up Alex when he was a kid, and now it's a bit vice versa. Really great to see the entire Wood family in town, including Alex's beautiful wife, Susanna, guys.
All right, Alana, and always enjoying these bobblehead nights, how the families get incorporated into it. All the players who tell you significant roles played behind the scenes from those people that get involved on these days. Jesus Aguilar takes strike one from Walker Buehler. So we were talking when that inning finished about you redefining some relationships with some old teammates.
Yeah, it's just if they look too comfortable up there, you always kind of had to maybe double up inside, because if they knew you so well that you like to live away, which is what I pretty much did in my style of pitching. And then when I came in, they pretty much so comfortable. Like, I've seen him come in his whole life. This is the only one time he's going to come in, and he'll go back away. If they start going back out there, you have to reestablish it. And maybe you come inside 2 or 3 times in a row, so they can't be comfortable.
Aguilar just barely missed extra bases down the line, and it stays at 0-2.
Eric Karros, when all of a sudden I was pitching against him and it wasn't his teammate anymore, he seemed like he knew what was coming when I was facing him, and I didn't really appreciate that, but I don't think I ever hit him. But I know he's listening, and I'll get a text.
0-2 pitch. Pop fly. Into that Brewers dugout, Barnes and Muncy. It's out of play. A moment of panic for Max there. Couldn't find it, and then started to scramble like he thought he should be finding it. Sweet relief watching it land on the net.
Either Austin didn't see it either, or he knew it was going to be out of play, and it's like, I don't need to give this an effort.
Wide of the bag, and it stays at 0-2. Got Aguilar with a fastball at 98 his first time. This time goes to a slider that's fouled. It remains at 0-2.
You know, the bobblehead giveaway tonight with Alex Wood, it's a great time. You know, Alana mentioned that the whole Wood family's here. It's a great time to thank your parents. You know, it's that moment when they're here, they throw out the first pitch. They're getting a lot of pictures from team photographer John Sue, who's capturing every moment. But you also have that moment on the field at Dodger Stadium to shake your dad's hand after the first pitch and say, thanks so much for everything you've done to make this possible. Manny Machado's going to get a moment like that September 22nd. He's been here, what, 12 days? He's got a bobblehead coming.
Buehler winds up winning the battle for the first out of the fourth. His 5th total tonight.
Number 21, Travis Shaw.
Brewers 1, Dodgers nothing, and here's Travis Shaw. Players Weekend was against the Brewers last year when they wore the different jerseys and got to put their own nicknames on the back. That's strike one. Do you remember Travis's? Mayor of Ding Dong City. Earned the nickname while he was in Boston 2 weeks into his major league career. Travis had two home run games in his first couple weeks in the bigs. Off to a red hot start there. And then in his first full season struggled some. And was traded to Milwaukee prior to last year. He looked at the trade as a big blessing. Got to play every day at that point because he'd fallen into a bit of a platoon role. In Miller Park, a much better environment for a left-handed hitter than Fenway. 2-2. Other thing is, he admitted that he put less pressure on himself in Milwaukee than he did in the pressure cooker that is Boston. Buehler gets him swinging with a sharp breaking pitch, 2 gone.
Eric Thames.
Buehler running for mayor of Strikeout Town. This stuff, that was ridiculous curveball.
What's population there?
Strikeout Town?
Yeah.
I know Clayton Kershaw is the mayor right now.
Yeah. Thames takes ball 1. For the guy they called the mayor of Ding Dong City, to the guy that in Korea they called God. Eric Thames. That's the nickname that he earned over there. Hit 124 home runs in Korea in 3 seasons. Those are shorter seasons, 2-1. Got to the point where he couldn't even leave his apartment. He was out on a date one night, giving his date a kiss outside a restaurant. Somebody came up right in the middle of the kiss, smacked him on the arm and asked for an autograph. 2-2.
Don't mean to bother you.
I'm sorry, God. I know you're kissing this young lady, but can you sign my ball, God? Buehler trying to strike out the side in the 4th. Thames puts it in play, but weakly to left for Matt Kemp. And the inning is over. To the bottom of the 4th we go. The Brewers 1, the Dodgers nothing. Now for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Dodgers today acquiring Brian Dozier from the Minnesota Twins, and among second basemen over the last 5 years when it comes to home runs, it's not even close. It's at 40 more than anybody else.
16 this year, and he usually hits somewhere in the mid-30s, and a lot of those come in the second half. So the Dodgers hoping the timing of this trade is absolutely perfect for a guy who usually gets hot in the second half of the season.
3, 4, and 5 for the Dodgers, down by a run here in the 4th. Matt Kemp takes strike 1. He had the last 2 seasons, and this is regardless of position. Brian Dozier has hit more home runs than anybody in August and September. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kemp. That's anybody in baseball.
Wow.
One and 2. Has not been a good offensive season for Dozier so far, the worst of his major league career, but the numbers not a whole lot different, at least in the power category, than they were at this exact point last year. And he was so good over the final 2 months after that total body of work was pretty darn good. The Dodgers hoping for a similar thing this year.
half of his games played in Minnesota. When does it start to warm up there where the long fly balls will actually get a little carry? So maybe the second half of the season in Minnesota, maybe even a little better here in hot LA.
Moustakis. One out.
Number 13, Max Muncy.
Here's Muncy.
This Dodger offense looking to get it in gear. They have not been swinging the bats well over the last couple of days.
The last 3 games now, Oral. They have 3 runs on 8 hits. Strike one. Played off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In the midst of this slump, I have really appreciated Max Muncy's approach, continued professional approach, work ethic. You can't see him wearing the frustrations and his actions in the box. Well, maybe there. That is a swing we don't usually see from a guy who has such great command of the strike zone. Turner Ward, his wife Donna Ward. Happy birthday, Donna.
Muncy down on strikes. Second time tonight. 2 away in the 4th.
Number 14, Kike
Up comes Hernandez. You look back at his great defensive play in the 3rd from StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Well, wherever he is on the field, he is fantastic. 177 feet of total accuracy with that throw.
Yes, happy birthday, Donna. I'll show you Kike's play, but happy birthday.
And Turner Ward wanted me to tell his wife that he did not trade her at the deadline. She is locked in. He absolutely loves you.
Nothing in 2. It is also Zach Friedman's 6th birthday, Andrew's son.
That's right.
Hernandez with a fly ball to left field. Christian Yelich. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the 4th. And Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers president of baseball operations, joins us. Andrew, I imagine that you're like running on fumes at this point.
Very much so. I look forward to a good night's sleep tonight, that's for sure.
What have the last 24, 48 hours been like for you guys?
They're just always hectic. Obviously, you got a lot of balls in the air, and whenever you have a deadline, things tend to gravitate towards it. And so with that, you're kind of kicking around different crazy things and debating various, different options. And with that, when you have a lot of balls in the air, it consumes a lot of your thoughts and makes it more difficult to sleep.
Kratz will lead off this inning against Buehler and roll the first pitch to third. Manny Machado. Why don't we start there? Obviously, Dozier's the headliner today, but Manny Machado, the headliner across baseball to this trade season. What went into that deal? And I know you've been asked that a bunch at this point, but why was he the right guy, and why was it necessary to make a move for that big guy?
I think one of the things, if you look around our team and our roster, I think one of the things that allows us and the benefit of kind of the depth that we have, 1 through 25 and even beyond that, is we didn't really have an acute need. It wasn't we need to upgrade this position. It really allowed us to focus on impact type players, and with our versatility we were able to kind of reconfigure things a little bit, but he was the #1 impact guy on the market in our mind, and someone that obviously fits extremely well.
Fits you extremely well. You don't see championship teams, first place teams go out and get a whole new middle infield.
It's something for us, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of 2016. A little bit is we're not hitting left-hand pitching the way we kind of expected to, and 2016 was a little bit like, actually more extreme than this is, and last year kind of more what we expected. We still believe in the guys that we have and what they can do against left-handed pitching, but adding Brian Dozier and Manny Machado to that is something that we think will aid greatly in that.
2 up, 2 down, and Dozier is a guy that we've been hearing the Dodgers connected to for a couple years now. Why is that? What about Brian Dozier made him someone you guys have long been attracted to?
Yeah, it has not been a secret. He's a really good baseball player, really good fender. He's got some foot speed, obviously some power. A guy that we felt like there's even more in there against left-handed pitching. He's been down a little bit this year, so we'll have all of our guys kind of rebound together here for the next 2 months. But a guy that again gives us kind of an ability to move guys around with our versatility, keep guys fresh, and allow us to have a really competitive 8-man unit out there every night.
Depth on the pitching staff has always been an asset for the Dodgers. Adding Axford, that was some more depth.
Yeah, he's a guy that he's been pretty good. We feel like there's another gear in there. He's handled left-handed hitters really well, and that was something for us. Looking at our existing group, obviously with Tony Cingrani on the DL and Josh Fields, it was something that we felt like getting a guy that could control left-handed hitters, whether it was a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher, would fit us really well. And so, Axford's got the really good comeback through seamer and the cutter, the curveball, things that profile really well against left-handed hitters, and he's handled them really well so far.
Walker Buehler looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. The Dodgers behind 1-0.
So is Andrew Friedman.
Are you trying to get out of here already?
No, not at all. I just like 1-2-3 inning when we're on defense.
Geez, Miley wants you to keep talking. So that you make a move for Axford. You said you can't wait to watch what he's got, but still looking for that Brandon Morrow of last year. Still looking for that Joe Blanton of the year before. And the way that I'm setting this up with 2 outs and 2 strikes, you have no choice but to hang around if this keeps going. Roller to short, and Taylor going to throw Miley out. Hope you can stay a half inning. All right, let's keep on talking. Out with us, and we finished that last inning off by talking a little bit about the bullpen in the 8th inning. You had Brandon Morrow last year. You had Joe Blanton the year before that. Is there that guy on this roster? Do you need to have that one guy that is the one guy to lead the Kenley Jansen, or can you do it differently?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got a number of really talented guys. Obviously, getting Josh Fields and Tony Cingrani back would help a lot. But the way Scott Alexander's pitched since coming back, the way Dylan Floro's come on, we've got a number of guys that, you know, have contributed nicely and have some really interesting kind of upside to them. And, you know, you look at the production that we've had since, you know, the middle of May to now in our bullpen, and it's been really good. You know, that being said, obviously it was something that, you know, we were keeping an eye on during the trade deadline days leading up to it. But we had a high bar. You know, for us, we like the group that we have. We also have a number of guys coming back, you know, from injury. Julio Urias, who was up to 94 yesterday. You know, and if our rotation's healthy, which, you know, again, right now we've got, you know, kind of 7, 8 strong guys right now with Ryu coming back, that, you know, there could be some spillover into our October bullpen if we're fortunate enough to get there. And so all those things factor in that, you know, you have to set a high bar because there were a number of scenarios where guys just weren't likely to make our postseason roster if we make it there. And so, you know, with that, it affects your acquisition threshold a little bit. But we feel good about adding Axe, and with where Scotty Alexander is, and for just a number of guys, you know, we feel really good about that group, and just trying to figure out now over the last 2 months, you know, exactly what the right formula is.
No balls, 2 strikes on Cody Bellinger, leading off this 5th inning with the Dodgers down 1-0. Miley back home with ball 1.
There are big games for players and for management and for fans. This kind of season around the trade deadline is kind of your big game, you know, this time. And do you get the high five right after the Machado thing, and then you just right back to the grind to make these other deals?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
And to center, Kane, a long way to go. He'll flag it down.
You know, there's a lot that goes into it, and when you ultimately get to that point where you push it across, there's a great relief. You're always kind of worried something's going to happen and
unwind it.
Exactly. So, you know, once it happens, you're excited. It's something that's great, and then you're right. You have to go right back to it, or you're going to miss out on something else. So, fortunately, it was a little more quiet over the All-Star break, other than our Machado deal. So it allowed us to kind of exhale a little bit, but then kind of refocus on what exactly we want to try to accomplish over the next couple of weeks.
Is it just like the free agent season that one piece goes off the board, now kind of the chemistry of all the other deals changes?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's trying to gain as much information as you can, because what teams are looking to acquire is meaningful. What teams are willing to part with is meaningful, and it's just trying to put all that together to figure out the best, you know, kind of buying opportunities and things that may exist out there.
Quickly, 2 out as Puig pops out. We've talked about it as far as Manny Machado goes. You look at the numbers for an American League player who we don't see all the time, and you see that he's one of the best. But to fully appreciate him, it seems like, is to see him play every day. Would you agree with that?
No doubt about it. I mean, I unfortunately competed against him a lot when I was with the Rays, and just the ease to his actions and everything he does is so apparent. And he is, you know, really gifted baseball player on both sides of the ball, really good instincts. You know, we saw him tag up from third on that play that I thought was crazy. I thought there was no chance he was going to tag up.
Philly.
Right, and he did, and obviously that was a big run. But it just goes to show, I mean, he just knows how to play the game. And everything he does kind of comes easy, but don't let that fool you in terms of his work ethic and desire to be great.
Ball and a strike on Barnes.
How much work is done on the character of these guys, because you have such a great culture here, and Dave Roberts has orchestrated a fantastic locker room, so you've got to get pieces that not only fit you ability-wise, but chemistry-wise.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of our focus, and something we do a lot of homework on. We talk to former teammates and clubbies and announcers and as many people as we possibly can to gain as much information about the person, the work ethic, the aptitude, you know, before doing something. But you're right. I mean, I think it is a competitive advantage, our clubhouse culture right now, and it does allow us to have a little bit more flexibility. Not that we needed it in this trade market, but it does allow us a little bit more flexibility, because it's really hard for guys not to come here and just kind of mold into what we have going on in the preparation. And, you know, guys have fun, but the intent to win is there and prevalent, every night.
Barnes rips a base hit to left to keep this inning alive. Getting Walker Buehler to the plate in a 1-0 game in the 5th. Your biggest acquisition ever, though, at the deadline is your son Zach, celebrating his 6th birthday today. What were you guys thinking, lining a baby up with the All-Star or with the trade deadline?
It's a great question. I wish I could give you a good answer, but he was due on July 21st. But I think it was a little foreshadowing of his strong-willed nature. The fact that he waited 10 days, and today's his birthday, and we get to celebrate it in a little bit of a unique way. Comes to the game, and we get to celebrate it with cupcakes, and it's been great, and he's really enjoying it.
Easier on the West Coast than the East Coast?
For sure. When the trade deadline was 4 o'clock on the East Coast, it was really tough, and depending on if the team was home or on the road, but it's worked out really well the last couple years, and it's kind of a neat, unique little thing that we share, and he knows that once it hits about 1 or 2 o'clock that I'm his.
1 and 2 on Buehler. What have you thought of him so far tonight on the mound?
He's been really good. I think each start since he's come back, we've seen kind of an uptick in stuff and execution. His delivery looks really clean. He's looked really good.
Just love the way he competes. He raised the bar for himself, like on every pitch, every inning. There's just not anything about him that says, oh, I'm on a learning curve. It's like, I want to be there now.
Yeah, I mean, he's ultra competitive, and you see it, kind of in game. You see it inning to inning, pitch to pitch, and it's something that I think has helped kind of speed up his, assimilation to the big leagues. He came up last September and experienced a little bit of, kind of stubbed his toe a little bit. But that was part of our calculus. As a worst case scenario, if he got to learn from last September and take it into the offseason and into this year, we felt like it would really benefit 2018 Walker Buehler, and it certainly has.
Andrew, we sure appreciate the time. Congratulations on an effective deadline. Can't wait to watch the group moving forward.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man.
Check out Dodger Vision right here. This is Dodger Chick.
Carlos Jr. Back in Los Angeles, where the Brewers lead the Dodgers 1-0, and we move along to the 6th inning. Thanks again to Andrew Friedman for the end of a very long couple days of work, taking the time to visit with us. Walker Buehler goes back to work against the top of the Milwaukee order, putting together a good start. 7 Ks through 5.
He is on his game. He looks fantastic, and as Andrew Friedman said, he is continuing to look better and better when he has come back from the DL. And he could be the wild card as far as the Dodgers moving forward, capturing another National League West title and then moving on in the playoffs. Could be somebody that really helps them an awful lot.
Here comes with the 1-0 to Yelich. That's hit hard, base hit. Second one of the night for Yelich. Turns hard and holds.
Relive the excitement of last year's World Series when the Dodgers host the Houston Astros this Friday through Sunday. The series begins with Friday night fireworks presented by Denny's and closes on Sunday with a Junior Dodgers backpack giveaway presented by Hai-Chu. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
This part of the order that combined to bring home the game's only run. Yelich singled in front of Kane, who doubled him home back in the third. Here in the sixth, Kane takes strike one.
Kane hit a fastball that they were trying to come in on him, and it leaked over the middle of the plate. Buehler right there just dotted that fastball away.
And now 1-1.
I like Walker's slider as more of a chase pitch than a strike pitch. The hits that he's given up tonight have been mostly on his slider. His slider with the short break for a strike is almost like a bad fastball to the hitters. They're having trouble catching up to 97, 98, and all of a sudden you throw the 90 to 91 mile an hour slider that only breaks a little tiny bit and it's a strike. All of a sudden you speed up the hitter's bat. So the slider that looks like a fastball for a strike and ends up slightly out of the zone, I think is more effective.
Ground ball to short. Taylor, Hernandez, not in time. Kane runs very well. They get the lead runner and one away in the sixth.
That was the slider we're talking about, Joe, right there. It was perfect, looking like the fastball that he threw him first pitch for a called strike, and then it ends up low and away, kind of a chase pitch off the end of the bat. Two speedy runners. A weak ground ball, but you get the out.
And now Moustakas, who is 2 for 2. Top three in the Brewers order tonight, Oral, 5 for 8. Rest of the order 0 for 12. But it's been enough so far in a pitcher's duel, with Wade Miley putting up 5 zeros. Strike one.
The defense with Moustakas, you can see the red 33%. Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor both with great range, covering a large portion of that.
Got in on his hands. That's backing out of play. That is ahead of Moustakas 0-2. But Chatsworth, Chancellor, 4-year starter there. His teams in high school won 124-11. And he set the California record with 52 home runs in his high school career. It's also the quarterback of the football team there until he suffered a broken ankle that led him to focus just on baseball. Not a bad idea. Wound up being the 2nd overall pick in 2007, behind David Price. Which was an Andrew Friedman pick, by the way, in Tampa Bay. Moustakas has Kane at first. 1 out in the 6th. Yeah, muscles a fly ball to Bellinger in center. Started back, now comes on and puts it away. With 2 out, here's Aguilar, whose story has drawn some comparisons to David Ortiz. You know, the 6 years, people forget, 6 years part-time player for Big Papi in Minnesota. They released him and then latched on in Boston when he was 27, but it wasn't until then that Big Papi had a chance to become Big Papi. David Ortiz has even said that he sees a photocopy of his own story when he looks at Aguilar. He said we both just needed a chance. And in the case of Aguilar, he was in the Cleveland Indians system, tearing up the minors, but getting sporadic opportunity in the majors. Asked them to cut him loose. They did. And he's found a home in Milwaukee. 25 home runs here in his first year, given an opportunity to play almost every day.
David Ortiz was mostly an opposite field hitter, gap to gap hitter, not with a lot of power when he was in Minnesota. Hit the left field wall an awful lot, but really learned to turn on the ball in Boston.
Kane headed for second. Barnes throw not in time. Kane into scoring position.
It'd be great at a wild pitch, and Walker Buehler will have to pitch around his wildness to keep this at a 1-run game.
Buehler comes home. Soft ground ball left side. Machado with a leaping Lorenzo Cain in front of him. Focuses on that bouncer and makes the play to send us to the bottom of the 6th. The Brewing Company focusing on the starting pitchers. Walker Buehler for the Dodgers, Wade Miley for the Brewers.
Walker Buehler, the electric fastball, but the key to tonight has been him landing both of his breaking balls. And Miley working quick, pounding the strike zone. That cutter has been so big, it looks like it's right down the middle, ends up under the right-handed hitter's hands.
5 shutout innings for Miley. Buehler gave up thus far just the 1 run in the 3rd and the double from Cain. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Top of the order. Chris Taylor swings through the first pitch. It's 0-1. 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 6 in the series. Cuts inside, 1-1. It's 1-2.
Milwaukee makes the postseason. Is this their game 1 starter?
Man, The way he's pitching right now.
Being quick and let's go, and no time for anybody to get nervous. He's going to be on the mound and going to get him.
2-2. It may not be game 1 starter, maybe wild card game starter. You're wondering about. Jolie Chassin, perhaps at this point, would be the guy. But if Miley keeps doing what he's been doing in the small sample, sure. Breaking ball, fouled back. And again, he's not somebody who's never had success. A first-round pick, runner-up for Rookie of the Year, an All-Star. Again, finding that youth. This an inside to Taylor and a full count to start this 6th inning. Machado and Kemp to follow. Miley to Taylor. We'll do it again. Off of the hands, Moustakas cutting it off and throwing him out. 1 gone in the 6th. Up comes Manny Machado. And time for our Coors Light refreshing finish. With what Machado has done so far as a Dodger.
He's absolutely been a special guy to watch. Like other players around the league, you appreciate them when they're on the opposite side, but you really come to love them when they're in your uniform and you see it day in and day out. Even when he makes an out, it looks kind of special that you're seeing a guy that's relaxed and really enjoys the game with tremendous ability.
We talked about it a little bit in Atlanta. Guy that, when he got to the majors, started playing chess because all the guys in the clubhouse were playing chess. Didn't know anything about it when he first got to the bigs. Got beat very quickly anytime he tried to play. That's strike 1. But the game intrigued him. And anytime something intrigues Manny, he wants to learn everything there is to know about it. So he dove in, started watching YouTube videos about chess, downloaded the app on his phone, worked on strategy in his downtime, and used to play late night games back in the hotel against Wade Miley, who'd love to engage in games of chess. And by the time it was all said and done, Manny Machado is one of the best players in the clubhouse. Pedro Mora had a great article on that. Chopper to Machado. 2 out.
Left fielder, Matt Kittle.
Talk about this Dodger offense slumping lately. 2 of the keys for the offense much of the year in Kemp and Muncy are in pretty deep slides right now. Kemp is 0 for his last 20. Muncy is 2 for his last 30. And so it's no wonder that they've only scored 3 runs in the last 3 games. Kemp down the right field line. Long run for Thames, who's there, and a 1-2-3 inning in short order for Wade Miley, right to the top of the Dodger lineup. to work. When we look at our Lowe's whole team together, extra important that he got deep into this game tonight because the bullpen has been taxed the last two. And here's Buehler ready to pitch the 7th. 96th pitch of the night is strike one on Travis Shaw. Barnes tried to pull that one back, didn't get Jerry Davis to bite, and it's 1-1. That is now a career high 98 pitches thrown in this outing for Buehler. JT Chagua loosening. Jams one left side, caught by Machado for the first out of the 7th.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers go behind the scenes as Manny Machado joins his new team in Milwaukee for the Dodgers debut. Plus, Chase Utley says farewell to Philly in his final appearance at Citizens Bank Park. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Eric Thames laid on a fastball at 96. Dave Roberts not even budging as that pitch count crosses 100. Buehler looks like there's plenty left in the tank. Popped into short center. Bellinger started back. So a long run for it, but he's there. 2 out.
Speed makes up for even the smallest of blemishes, and Cody shaking his head a little bit at how he read that ball at first, but he's got the wheels to make up the ground.
And with 2 gone in the 7th, the veteran catcher Eric Kratz comes up 0 for 2 tonight. You know, this game's setting up awful nicely for Brian Dozier to get off the plane, come here and tie it with a pinch hit homer, isn't it?
That's perfect.
Awkward swing and a miss.
He got his new uni on. He's underneath the stadium in the cage, getting ready.
I hear he got it in Minneapolis and wore it on the plane.
Oh, perfect.
0-1 pitch. It's down and away, ball 1. Gonna wear number 6, it sounds like. There's 2 in Minnesota. That's taken here. Ground ball to short. Chris Taylor and Walker Buehler 7 innings tonight of 1-run ball. We stretch and he hopes for the offense to bail him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 7th.
bucket. Something to smile about. Cool moment. Even brought a smile. She's got Dodger blue eyes to match that Dodger blue outfit. And Eric Thames made her smile tonight. To the bottom of the 7th we go, and a really good ball game. Brewers in front 1-0. Walker Buehler 7 innings tonight, just 1 run.
Absolutely fantastic. I know Dave Roberts analyzing a little bit with him, but an awful lot of encouragement right there for a job well done.
Max Muncy starting the 7th and taking ball 1 from Wade Miley. As good as Buehler was, Miley's been a little bit better. Nothing through 6.
Got a strikeout with his cutter. He's gotten 3 strikeouts with the curveball and a lot of swings and misses. Both pitchers landing their breaking balls tonight.
Like that. Muncy 0 for 2, has struck out both times. It's 2 of the 5 for Miley. He's back home with a 1-2. The curve, and this one's foul. Best we've seen Buehler look since before the rib injury. Muncy stays alive. Boy, we've seen a lot more outward frustration from Max tonight. I know you're talking about how impressed you'd been him keeping a straight face, but his 2 for 30 seems to be spilling over a little bit into his body language.
Hey, last night the hit, thought maybe that's going to break him out. Tonight, go back to some frustration.
Muscles a curve up the middle with a diving stop by Travis Shaw.
Well, on Sunday, August 5th, the first 12,000 kids 14 and under will receive their own Junior Dodger backpack courtesy of High Chew when the Dodgers host the Astros. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Kike Hernandez with 1 out in the 7th. One and 0. Two balls, no strikes, and we check in with Alana.
Guys, earlier today, Dave Roberts said that Brian Dozier was en route and could be here mid-game. In fact, that is the case. Brian Dozier is in the building. Just saw him walk in, and Dave Roberts said he would be available in later innings. So who knows? He'll be making his way to the dugout soon, is my guess.
And we're only half kidding that it's kind of setting up nicely for his first appearance. See if Hernandez gets one to unload on. He tried 2, 3, and 1.
Get loose, kid. You're going up. It's the 9th inning. Oh, it's a walk-off hit, and you haven't met your teammates yet, and they're ripping the uniform off of you. That would be perfect.
Here's Miley's 3-1. A pop fly on the right side of the infield. Dodgers only 2 hits tonight. 6 2/3 for Wade Miley. Dropping his ERA below 2. A relatively small sample size, but enough where the Brewers can be pretty excited about this guy at this point.
I would be excited if I'm them. I don't think he's doing this by luck or the Dodgers are in a slump. He's making a lot of good pitches, changing speed, hitting his spots, and has tremendous movement.
Bellinger now. Strike 1. Cody continues to search, but maybe something to feel good about his last time up. Lined the ball to left center field. It's tracked down by Kane. A lot of times that's how you see a slump go, though. Nothing falling in, and then some bad luck. And then the guy comes out of it. He's ahead here, 2-1. Generous bottom of the zone, evens the count up on pitch 100.
Veteran home plate umpire Jerry Davis bringing him up on this one. Just maybe a little low, but I think it's the hollow of the knee. Maybe they need to raise the strike zone a little bit.
Can we do it retroactively?
Nope.
For one pitch?
No, I don't even think we'll do it by the end of the year.
Miley's 2-2. Bellinger digs it out in the air to center. Kane is back to the warning track at the wall, and he caught it. Lorenzo Kane saves the day for the Brewers.
Last night he just missed Manny Machado's in the ninth. That was a home run, but this one he gets and robs the tie game from the Dodgers.
Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Hey, thanks, Joe. A tremendous outing tonight for Walker Buehler, but 3 runs on just 9 hits over the last 3 games, Ned.
Offense a little quiet right now, but Cody Bellinger nearly hit one out. Kike Hernandez, great defensive play tonight.
All right, these guys will break it down after the game. Hopefully, we're talking about a come-from-behind win. We'll see you soon.
Right now, John, we're talking about an incredible play by Lorenzo Kane, and it is our top-tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco.
Timing, leaping ability, no fear. He is a fantastic center fielder.
Orlando Arcia takes strike 1 from JT Chagua. We were talking last night about Lorenzo Kane leading the National League in wins above replacement. It's a number that gives an overall picture to a player's value. Quickly 0-2, and that is a big part of it. He plays a premium defensive position in center, so that number is boosted by him simply playing center field. And then he does it at an exceptionally high level. Combine that with the offense and the base running, and you get the most valuable player in the MVP so far, or in the NL so far, by that measure. 1 gone in the 8th. Ryan Braun comes to bat. JT Chagua gets ready to pitch again, striking out the first batter that he faces.
He's been on a roll since coming back up from AAA, getting a few things ironed out, his alignment, and getting his release point out front. And the breaking ball has definitely improved.
His first one to Braun. Backs up, ball 1. Braun hitting below 200 in this month of July. An injury-riddled season for him. Fouls it off, 1-1. Ground ball up the middle. Kike Hernandez gets there. Gets a throw off, but not in time. He's flashed all over the place tonight. This one ultimately an infield single for Braun, though.
Most guys don't even get to this ball, and the ones that do don't attempt to throw. They just eat it. But Kike has tremendous range, ability, and he thinks he can make every play, and he's got a pretty good idea that he can. A fantastic strain he puts on his legs there just to put the brakes on as he jabs that heel into the turf.
Christian Yelich at the top of the order takes ball one. So the night is officially over for Wade Miley. 7 shutout innings. And then you're looking at the biggest strength of the Brewers, and that is the bullpen. Now they have Joakim Soria warming for the 8th.
A lot of times you're like, glad we got that starter out of there. But then you look down at the bullpen and you go, oh, we got the same kind of challenge coming.
Soria wasn't particularly dominant last night. Hader was, but 2 full innings. So Jeffers for 1. They got him at first. Jaguar picks off Braun.
We get back to this replay. JT Jaguar, very quick feet and a quick release from where he comes from. Braun looks like he gets stuck in the dirt. Looks like he's going to be safe, but doesn't move much once he hits the ground. JT comes right up with a kind of a catcher's throw. Pitchers drop their arm below the waist when they go to throw and deliver the ball, but to be quicker to the bases, he rises up like a catcher, throws it from his ear, gets him.
So 2 gone and the base is empty. The count on Yelich is 1-0. The score is 1-0. Here in the 8th inning of Game 2 between the Dodgers and the Brewers. Jaguar delivers and Yelich takes a strike. Dodgers trying to come from behind tonight and avoid their first 3-game skid this month. Finishing up a month of July where they're 16-9. Yelich strokes one to left. Kemp angling on, makes the catch, and Jaguar faces the minimum in the 8th. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Try the new queso-loaded double queso quesadilla only at El Pollo Loco, fresh from the grill. Final line for Wade Miley, sparkling. Just 2 hits over 7 shutout innings, trying to improve his career record at Dodger Stadium to 4-0. And the ball, Team Soria.
A hit and a walk last night, but it was a scoreless inning that he pitched. He's going to come at you with a 4-pitch mix. The Dodgers will get to see about a 93-mile-an-hour fastball and the off-speed pitch that takes him down. The lowest in velocity is his curve at 70.
He'll face Puig, and then the Dodgers, it appears, set to unload that bench. Here in the 8th, down a run. Puig goes after the first pitch. Fly ball to center, but it'll hang in the yard for Kane. 1 pitch, 1 out for Soria. Sounded good, but a little bit under it. Up comes Yasmani Grandal.
Soria has been fantastic in his last 27 appearances, only given up 2 earned runs, so he is on a hot streak.
Speaking of hot streaks, Sorrel, hottest hitter in the month of July in a lot of categories across baseball, at least among the leaders. 369 this month. One of the best Julys we've ever seen for a catcher. Sounds like hyperbole, but it's not. 1 ball, no strikes. In fact, back to 1920, he's posted the 3rd best OPS in July of any catcher. On a 1-0. Looks at ball 2.
Any catcher that's hitting in July and August is amazing with the wear and tear they go through, with the heat going up. Those innings start to pile up on especially your knees. You lose your legs as a hitter, and all of a sudden the bat's not as accurate, not as powerful.
Jock Peterson due to bat next. If you're wondering about Brian Dozier, Lana reported he is in the building, is active tonight. Good chance we see him at some point. On a 2-1. That catches a generous corner and evens the count at 2-2. Full count.
Find a way to get on.
Got him swinging.
Wants to go low and away, ends up cutting it low and in, right in Yasmani's sweet spot, but finds a way to get it by him.
One nothing in the 8th. Bases empty, 2 out. And up comes Jock Peterson, who put on a show a couple hours before the game in BP today, didn't he?
He was absolutely fantastic. It was 5-6 home runs in a row every round. If he hit one bad, it was a line drive over second.
Pops up the first pitch. And that's the inning. We're through 8. Dodgers trailing at 1-0.
Dodger Dogs. Buy up to 5 Dodger Dogs per person per transaction. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. I almost said visit DodgerDogs.com/promotions, but
I wonder if there is such a thing.
there should be.
As Monty Grandal stays in to catch. Caleb Ferguson.
Fantastic out of the bullpen. Caleb Ferguson, about 20 innings pitching in relief, 25 strikeouts. His ERA has really built that 3.52 from when he was a starter, but out of the pen, he has been lights out.
Dave Roberts really liking what he's bringing right now. And of course he's going to with the numbers he's putting up, but there's also something intangible that he's liking right now with Caleb's presence in a relief role. 2, 3, and 4 for the Brewers, so it won't be easy for Ferguson to keep it right here. Lorenzo Cain takes ball 1. Cain has the game's lone RBI with a 3rd inning double to score Christian Yelich. A little 2-out rally against Walker Buehler. That's all they've needed so far. Strike 1.
You know, Caleb with that 2-pitch mix, Joe, and out of the bullpen, you can go with that. And you only have to go through the lineup maybe once, and they don't get a read on you. The changeup is in development, and if that starts to come along, you'll see him possibly in the rotation someday, but he definitely could be a piece in the bullpen with what he's got going on right now.
1-2. Look who made it. Brian Dozier.
I can already tell you he's a nice guy when he's shaking the bat boy's hand and greeting him like he's almost his teammate.
In Brian's defense, he's dressed up exactly like one of his teammates. That bat boy.
That's true.
Cain strokes a line drive to center. Bellinger is there. Now you're right though, and that is the word that you get from everybody you talk to in Minnesota, that Brian Dozier's one of the best guys. Hi, Skipper.
If you need me, I'm ready.
That's your old teammate right there, man. Finally, he's here. That's your brother from life, man.
It's Danny Lehman, the game planning coordinator, who Dave Roberts referred to as his old teammate in the minors. Mike Moustakas. Strike 1. What a moment in time captured right there. Brian Dozier, who was drafted by the Twins, he spent the first 6.5 years of his big league career with the Twins, putting on a different jersey for the first time, meeting new teammates for the first time.
Looking out at this beautiful stadium, the packed house, and just thinking, wow, look at this place. They finally made it to the big leagues.
1-2. Moustakas takes strike 3.
Talk about starters' arms playing up when they come out of the bullpen. Caleb Ferguson holding his velocity and his location as he's been coming out of the bullpen. And that 12-6 curveball has been a weapon also.
It's gotten Cain and Moustakas, and now we'll deal with Aguilar. Some of the curve that misses up. 1-1. It's an interesting thing for Dave Roberts. One swing could tie it. Of course, you'd love to use Dozier, but you have the top of the order coming up. You're going to have a right-handed reliever coming in. David told us before the game, I'd love to be able to be in a situation to have him show up, the game in hand, and say, hey, take a breather tonight, say hi to your new teammates. We'll get you in there tomorrow. That would not be the easiest way to make your debut with a team, coming in facing the fire-breathing Jeffress. A 1-2. And a 1-2-3 inning for Caleb Ferguson. If Grandal can find it, but he couldn't. And Aguilar's aboard with 2 gone.
Second baseman number 21, Travis Shaw.
Yasmani wants it down. Ferguson gets it down, loses it, and all of a sudden it's sitting on home plate. It's kind of hard to find. White object on white home plate. Where is it? I'm looking for the contrast. Ferguson was yelling at him and pointing at it, but Yasmani is spinning like a top.
Travis Shaw, after reaching 4 times last night, 0 for 3 tonight. The Brewers have the 1 run on 6 hits. Don't have any walks tonight. Dodgers no runs on 2 hits. 2 walks. They haven't played in a 1-0 game since the first 2 games of the season. Those back-to-back 1-0 losses to San Francisco. 3-0 on Shaw. Green light, strike 1. Full count. There goes Aguilar. Here it comes, and we'll do it again.
Somebody in the Dodger lineup at the top of the lineup is going to have to break an offer. Those first 5 hitters, nobody has a hit. Manny Machado, the only one that has reached with a walk.
Ground ball right side. Muncie's got it. Hits Ferguson on the move, or steps on the bag, and sends us to the bottom of the 9th. Fasten those seatbelts. Top of the order coming up. Taylor, Machado, and Kemp. 1 to tie and 2 to win. The order coming up. Hernan Perez into the game defensively at second for the Brewers, and on the pitch with Corey Knebel, their closer, used last night. They go with Jeremy Jeffress, who also pitched last night, but enough bullets left for him to go again in this one.
Pitched a perfect eighth with 2 strikeouts, has an unbelievably menacing, glaring stare as he has a severe presence that he is attacking on the mound. And Dodgers will not only be looking at that, but they'll be looking at some outstanding stuff. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball, a curveball around 80, and a splitter that falls off the table at times at 90.
Does have 3 saves, all of them in early May. Brewers 1-0 on a double from Kane in the third. And now Taylor Machado and Kemp trying to solve Jeffress. Here we go. Ball 1. Fly ball to center field, and routine for Lorenzo Cain. Taylor the first out of the night. Here's Machado.
Third baseman number 8, Ben Machado.
Had a home run in the 9th inning last night, one of his 26 this year, most on the Dodgers. Of course, 24 of those coming in Baltimore before the deal. Strike 1.
And he's on base percentage since he's been a Dodger over 400. A walk tonight, reach base, but in this at bat, I think he's looking for a little bit more than just reaching base.
He's in an 0-2 hole.
Electric fastball, and right there a split finger that had him out front. Now in the 0-2 hole. Well, you got a battle.
You know, Jeffress will.
He's always going to look like he's battling, I'll guarantee you that.
Ready to boil over while he waits for Machado to get back into the box. He can't wait to deal 0-2. Machado down the line, hooking foul.
Results of that foul ball would really tell you that Manny made a nice adjustment on the split finger. Very close to keeping that one fair and getting a double. Won't be surprised if they change the pitch selection right here and maybe elevate with the fastball. Manny's first at bat yesterday in his Dodger Stadium debut, he chased a high fastball around his neck for a strikeout.
One nothing 9th inning. Jeffress to Machado. Another 0-2. Struck him out. And the Dodgers down to their last out.
Manny will tell you that he got himself out on this one. That ball was never a strike out of his hand, and he was just anticipating that he wanted to hit it hard, and it got him started too early.
Well, this wouldn't be a bad time for Kemp to snap an 0-for-21 slide. Average dipping below 300 for the first time since the opening days of the year. ball, no strikes. Line to center field. Lorenzo Cain puts it away, and the Brewers beat the Dodgers 1-0.
Couple of exciting days here at Dodger Stadium. Manny Machado's opening debut at the stadium ends up in a loss. Now the addition of Brian Dozier and Axford. They lose here. They want to turn this skid around, but they've had some excitement. Now it's got to turn out to be in the win column.
Player of the game brought to you by Lexus, Lorenzo Cain. He drove in the only run with his double in the third. He also perhaps saved a run. The ball that Cody Bellinger hit near the top of the wall. Lorenzo Cain, one of the best defensive center fielders in the sport. Climbed the wall to catch it. 1-0 the final score. So the Dodgers finished the month of July with their first 3-game losing streak in July. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. These teams play Game 3 tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. For now, it's Access Sportsnet Dodgers.